I want to welcome you back to another exciting day out here in the old dusty workshop. It is hot, it is sweaty, but I am ready to make some Damascus. And I'm making that Damascus so that I can make a feather Damascus hatchet. It's going to be really cool. It's going to have an awesome figured walnut handle. And I am very excited to get started on the Damascus for the head. I'm going to be doing... We'll start out with 18 layers. I'm going to restack that 6 times, and then I will feather it, reforge weld it, and then forge out the head. But I want to keep it to somewhat of a bold pattern, so that 18 times 6 is 108. So I should have about 108 layers, give or take a couple, depending on what gets ground off when I'm doing the restacking. But I'm very excited to get these welded up and into the fire. We're going to see how hot we can get the shop in here. It's already, I think, 90 degrees. Isn't too bad. It's been a lot hotter here lately, so today's a pretty cool day. But I'm going to go ahead and make it a whole lot hotter in here. We're going to get some sparks flying, make some dust. You know how much I love that dust. So anyway, I'm going to take you over to the vise over here. We're going to weld ourselves up a billet of 15N20 and 1080, and we're going to start making an awesome hatchet. So I have the billet all drawn out here. I went ahead and cut it in half partway through drawing it out just because it was getting a little unwieldy. But now it's time to clean these up and get them restacked. I will cut each of these pieces into 3 pieces and restack for that 108 layers, roughly. It's never quite exact because I have to clean off all the scale and sometimes you lose a few layers in there, but mathematically speaking, 18 layers, I cut it into 3, you get 108 when you get all 6 layers together. So I'm going to take these over to the vise and use an angle grinder to get all the scale off and then flatten the surfaces on my belt sander. And then it will be time to get these restacked, tack welded together, get them back in the forge, and get our final billet forged, and then do the feather cut, clean it back up, and forge weld them together one last time. Alright, so we've been tacked back together. Now I'm going to drop the billet in some kerosene, and this just helps to clean the surfaces. And when I put this in the forge, the kerosene will burn away and leave a layer of carbon on the surfaces of the steel, and that will kind of help it weld. are the 4 pieces that I have. They've been feather cut. And now I'm going to take these, I'm going to cut this apart into something like this. And you can see the layers there. Swoop down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to forge these square into little rectangles, each of them, and then I'll restack them, reforge weld them together, and that will create our feather Damascus. And then it will be time to actually get forging on the hatchet head itself. So I'm going to light the forge and get these all squared up. Okay, so I have these 4 pieces. They're all cooled off. I'm now going to clean up the faces, and then I will restack them, tack them back together. I'll be doing the last forge welding. So that is where I'm going to call this episode. I am so pleased with how well all of the feather cuts worked. So we have there were 4 pieces of steel that I cut using my hot cut pretty much on my press. And so that should give us about 3, well, it should give us exactly 3 distinct feather patterns in the billet. So in the next episode I will punch and drift the eye for the hatchet, and it will be time to forge out the blade, and we can really get a little peek of what the pattern is looking like during forging. So I'm really excited to show you guys all of that. I want to thank you guys for watching today. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. I am really loving making all of these awesome projects for you guys, and when you like and subscribe, it helps me to do that. So thank you very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Catch you on the next episode where we where I finish up this hatchet. So you guys have a good one and take it easy.